The NFL awards are being handed out this week, and we have the 5 finalists for each award dropped a couple of weeks ago. And this is our award show that who are we going to be giving the awards to? And we're going to start off big. We're going to go off with the MVP. The 5 finalists are Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Matthew Stafford. We're going to name our top 3 in reverse order, and the winner being last. You can start off.
At number 3, I'm going to give it to Trevor Lawrence. I bought into that second half of the season, Trevor Lawrence, ever since they acquired Jacoby Myers. He has been absolutely balling out. And because of that, I'm going to give him his flowers, and I'm going to put him at the number 3 spot in the MVP race.
Number 3 for me was also Trevor Lawrence. I think it's no surprise that who the top 2 are going to be for both of us. I agree 100% with everything you said. I think out of all the other finalists, this guy elevated his game and was a big reason why of that huge win streak before heading into the playoffs. Let's face it, number 2 and number 1, it's either Stafford or May in that position. I ultimately went with number 2, Matthew Stafford, and my MVP is Drake May.
Look, I don't know how to look at this. If I'm looking at who's going to get it, I feel like it's going to Stafford.
Okay. Fair. I can see that.
I feel like it's going to go to Stafford. Me, personally, I would give it to Drake May, and here's a reason why. And I feel like JJ Watt said this too, because I saw his opinion about it. I just feel like if you're looking at the value and looking at the definition of most valuable player, I just feel like you take May out, the Patriots really struggle. You take Stafford out, the Rams survive. That's the way I look at it.
They will struggle but survive, yeah.
Yeah, survive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to be good still. Like, you still have all the weapons offensively. You still have a very good defense. You have an insane play caller in Sean McVay. Other side, yeah, Josh McDaniels is good, but Josh McDaniels only has been good when he has good quarterbacks.
This is his first year with Drake May.
Yeah, so Drake May is a good quarterback. Tom Brady is a good quarterback. Every time he went to get a head coaching job and there was no quarterback there, Josh McDaniels failed. So because of that, I just looked at it from the definition of the award, which is the value. I feel like Drake May edges Stafford over that. And I know there's other cases with the easy schedule and all those things, but then for Drake May is like I just said, he has the better, or Stafford has the better weapons and the better surrounding pieces.
And the other argument for Stafford is harder division. Yes, ultimately he did not come first in that division. That went to the Seahawks as well. For me, I went with Drake May simply because, like you said, the weapons, not as good. Number 2, compared to what this Patriots team was last year to this year, it was a massive jump. Like we thought they were going to be a better team. We didn't think they were going to win the division. And then, yeah, number 3, I love Matthew Stafford. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I'll be happy if he gets it. This by no means should be a unanimous decision. I just think your point you just said, Drake May elevated that team a lot more. And yes, easy schedule or not, he was still a second-year quarterback. I know age should not be a factor in these awards because at the end of the day, it's based on ability, not expectations to a certain extent. With the age side of things. But yeah, ultimately, I just went with Drake May because I just thought the way he elevated the Patriots compared to last year was way bigger than what Matthew Stafford did. And Matthew Stafford had arguably, which we'll be going to our next award, into one of the DPOY candidates as well. But let's move on to the other, the Offensive Player of the Year. The 5 finalists for this were Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. I hate the fact that this also gets a quarterback involved in it. We already said our piece with this in the past, so I'm not going to reiterate that as well. But for me, number 3, I went with Christian McCaffrey. Number 2, I went with Puka Nacua. And number 1, JSN.
I have the exact same list here. Christian McCaffrey balled out this season. He's nominated for 3 awards. So that just showed you how impressive he was. He also remained healthy and did everything he could receiving and rushing for the San Francisco 49ers. Puka Nacua, JSN, I'm just going to say my only difference is Puka had the stretch of a couple games where he missed. And that's where JSN kind of took it over.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I felt like Puka would have had the receiving yards leading. Will be the receiving yards leader if he didn't miss those games, because he also had that monster game in Seattle where he went off for like 220 yards, I believe, or something like that, which is crazy. But then again, JSN, I only think JSN probably only had 3 bad games.
Yeah.
For his standards. They're not bad games for like for a receiver, but like for his standards and how he's like constantly putting up 100-yard games, I feel like 3 or 4 where he only missed. And obviously Puka did the same thing. For me, I'm just differentiating because of the injury, and JSN took that opportunity and proved that why he is a top 3 receiver in the NFL going into next season in that conversation.
Christian McCaffrey was a finalist for MVP. If the Niners had somehow gotten that division locked up, he probably would have been my MVP as well. Like I said, I try my best to give it to non-QBs, but we know it ends up going to a quarterback because it is the hardest position in sports. But like you said, like he had literally no other weapons around him on a consistent basis, right? George Kittle got hurt, Ricky Pearsall got hurt, Brock Purdy got hurt, even though Mac Jones played well. So that's why I have to give him number 3. Puka, it's the same argument with Stafford made to a certain extent. JSN helped elevate Sam Darnold. I'm not saying Sam Darnold did not deserve like the love. He obviously made the plays, he made the throws he needed to, but Puka had an MVP candidate. Sam Darnold was not. Sam Darnold had stretches to the end of the year. Again, keep in mind, this is a regular season award, so we're not including playoffs. Sam Darnold, we know, had a really good playoff game against the Rams in the NFC Championship weekend. But JSN made himself available to Sam Darnold, like Justin Jefferson helped out Sam Darnold last year. Again, Sam Darnold, I'm not is he a quarterback you could win with? Clearly, he has shown that this year, but he is not at the Stafford level of quarterbacks, unfortunately. And I think that if JSN was not there or whatever, JSN did not elevate his game like he did with his route running and all that, we don't know how good Sam Darnold would have been this year. But Jackson Smith-Njigba by far for me deserves it because he did play like every game this year that mattered, and he balled out in every game and helped out. And the other thing, Puka had Devontae Adams to help alleviate some load. He did not until Shaheed came late, but even then, he's not at the level of Devontae Adams was. So yeah, JSN as a primary number 1 guy, primary focuses on all defenses, was able to get this done. They won the division, but on the back of JSN and that defense as well. That's why he's my point winner.
DPOY, the 5 finalists: Will Anderson, Nick Bonito, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, and Micah Parsons.
So number 3, I have Nick Bonito. Number 2, I have Will Anderson. And my winner is Myles Garrett, which is weird to say because that team did not do good at all to make anywhere near to make the playoffs. But we all know if that team made the playoffs, Myles Garrett probably would have been MVP.
23 sacks. The new leader in NFL history for a single season sacks holder at 23 is Myles Garrett. Obviously, he broke it in the final moments of the final week of the season. And again, this dude just was incredible. It's weird to say it. Like, he was just simply flat out.
He was not the reason why the Browns were back.
Yeah, he just simply flat out proved that he is the best defensive player in the NFL. I know the conversations are between him and with TJ Watt after Aaron Donald retired, but this year, Garrett separated himself, and he proved that with this literal historic season that he just put together with the Browns. So
based on how you're spanking, he's your number 1?
Yeah, he's number 1. Number 2, Will Anderson, absolute stud, proved why the Houston Texans should have traded up for him. Absolute beast. Number 3, Nick Bonito, continuing his form on from last year. He's getting to the quarterback and the leader of the Denver Broncos defensive line. A lot of credit goes to him. Michael Parsons, honestly, if he didn't get injured, probably would have been top 3. Aiden Hutchinson, last year was incredible before his injury. This year, he did the exact same thing. And overall, but at the end of the day, those 4 couldn't do what Myles Garrett did.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like listen, is Garrett officially in Aaron Donald talks? No, I mean, I won't say greatest of all time or that. We know LT has done the case in that. But if we do bring up the greatest of this generation, is it officially him, Donald? Maybe you want to throw in a guy like JJ, TJ Watt and all that. He's officially in the conversation, right? Like I'm not saying he's your number 1. I'm just saying he should be mentioned easily from now on. Yeah,
for sure. Like, it's gonna be Donald. It's just gonna be Donald because there's like nobody gets triple teamed like he does. Because at the end of the day, if he got stuck to double teams or just 1-on-1s, we know that Aaron Donald will probably have the sacks record in the single season. But he is that much of a beast that the other teams focus on putting 3 players on him. But again, in this situation, yes, Garrett is going to be in this conversation for sure. People are going to have a case for Garrett. It's still Aaron Donald in terms of best player in this generation. Like, obviously defensive player as well. Player, yeah. Like, obviously you're going to have Tom Brady which is
Well, it depends on which type of generation you're looking at. Are you looking at like 2015 past? Because then if that's the case, JJ Watts enters the conversation. Before that, JJ Watt should enter the conversation and all that.
But when you're looking
in
at
the 2020s, it should be like Donald.
In the 2020s, then it's probably just Garrett, honestly. I mean, when Donald got the Super Bowl in 2021, right? Yeah.
Like so he retired early at the end of the day.
He did retire early. So at the end of the day, people have a case for Garrett. It's fair, but the answer is still Aaron Donald, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on to the next award, and that is going to be, we're going back to the offensive rookie of the offense and going offensive rookie of the year. 5 finalists: Jackson Dart, Emeka Egbuka. Is it Abuka, not Egbuka, right?
I think the G silent, yeah.
All right, so Abuka, Travion Henderson, which was a little bit of a surprise for me in the top 5, Tet McMillan, and Tyler Shuck. So number 3, I have Jackson Dart. Number 2, I went Tyler Shuck. And number 1, I went with Tet McMillan. Winning it.
I have the same thing, except I flipped Shuck to 3 and gave Jackson Dart number 2. I know Jackson Dart did struggle down the stretch. And then obviously Tyler Shuck down the stretch was really good. But I can't really blame that on Jackson Dart because he literally had nothing after a lot of his pieces got injured. And he still did. He still performed some good. He performed pretty well in some games for the New York Giants. But I think the thing is here, like, we knew the early season winner was going to be Abuka. But obviously he struggled down the stretch, and the entire Tampa Bay team just struggled.
Whole conversation changed. Like, people considered Tyler Warren. People obviously considered.
I think the issue that we're gonna have with this is not Tet McMillan winning. The issue is we're gonna have, why the hell is Tyler Warren not a finalist? That's the issue we have. But at the end of the day, that does not take away from what Tet McMillan has done, because as much as Abuka was really, really good to start off, Tet McMillan just week by week just kept on producing and getting better. He would just straight up, he was solid to elite by the end of the year. Whereas Abuka, like, he just had a hot run and then withered away. Same thing goes with Tyler Warren, but again, you can't really blame the player for that too much, like I can for Abuka, because the organization just literally fell apart for the Colts and Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So in that case, whereas those guys started to drop, Tet McMillan a big reason why Carolina really started to merge.
Yeah.
And the last point I want to make here about another guy in Travion, he was kind of the opposite of Abuka and Warren, where he was really bad in the beginning. Like Travion
wasn't getting opportunities.
He wasn't getting opportunities either, but also wasn't producing. But down later in the stretch, we saw those Ohio State runs where he takes it to the house from 50-yard line or beyond, and his explosiveness and just to literally be that type of guy where he could hit a home run on every single play.
Like I said, like, Colston Loveland down the stretch, really good as well. Obviously, I still slightly biased, but still think Tyler Warren was the better tight end in that draft class. But like, 2 guys I do want to give a shout out to that should have been in these conversations as well if they didn't get hurt, which is why I put Tyler Shuck ahead of Jackson Dart at the end of it. Because again, the Saints' expectations for me were very low, and he elevated that a little bit to the point where he gained at least 1 more year of trial, I guess you could say, for sure that he will be the future quarterback. Cam Scottaboo, Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah.
When Judkins obviously figured out all his like legal stuff, and once he's got his contract signed with the Browns, he started playing. I think he started the year injured injured as well. And when he started immediate impact off the bat, to the point where like people are saying that, oh yeah, he should have been the number 1 running back, period, to be off the board. There was a reason why he went ahead. I think he went ahead of Travion Henderson by 1 pick, and we saw a reason why. Of course, he had a brutal injury to end the year. He probably would have been easy conversations in this as well to overall win it. But those 2 guys, shout out to those guys. Hopefully they're able to stay healthy next year, and we see a bounce back with Ashton Genty, who was supposed to be the guy to win this award most likely. But
you might be getting a better head coach.
That's fair. Like, rumors are it's Clint Kubiak, and we'll obviously talk coaches down the line. So, which, by the way, before we move on to the next award, please hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys' support. We have done. Comment down below all your award winners down below. We would love to engage with you in the comments. Like you said, after the Super Bowl, we are going to have a lot of off-season talk, and we are going to talk about all the head coaches that did get hired. And one of them is the Raiders. So you guys do not want to miss that. Hit the post notification bell. And let's move on to Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think this was like the hardest one to assess overall when it comes to just overall impact and stuff. But the 5 finalists that did get announced are Abdul Carter, Nick Amanawari, James Pierce Jr., Carson, please fill it in. Thank you. And Xavier Watts.
Usually I'm the one who struggles with names.
Yeah, that one I can't. Every time I mess it up.
All right. The top 3 for me. At number 3, I'm going to go with James Spears Jr. I thought he was absolutely incredible this year. I thought Atlanta hit a home run on the pick, not the trade, but the pick.
Yeah. Because now the trade takes him away out
exactly.
of the pick.
But the pick itself and the player he impacted a line that needed a lot of help. And he was one of those impact players there. But the top 2 were just flat out incredible. At number 2, I'm going with Nick Emanwari. Number 1, Carson Schlesinger, because I felt like kind of this case where where I said for Ted McMillan, I felt like Schlesinger was just really, really solid throughout the whole entire season, whereas Nick Emanwari kind of just like week by week elevated up. So like when you're looking at it from a entire season standpoint, I'm going to give the edge to Schlesinger. It is very close in my opinion. I don't think it's a clear-cut winner here because at the end of the day, the Seahawks and the main big reason why they were so successful defensively is how Mike McDonald can creatively use Nick Emanwari. And that was the game plan for Seattle in the later stretches, and him just emerging in those roles and being able to be free helps the Seattle defense be like the Legion of Boom 2.0.
If playoffs were included, Nick Emanwari was my winner.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't take that away from Carson because at the end of the day, he did not get the playoffs opportunity. And like I said, if Myles Garrett was like, listen, the 3 finals for DPOY all had amazing defenses. The difference was Myles Garrett's offense was not good as compared to some of the other defenses, and he was in a slightly harder division. I can't take that away from Carson. Like you said, Nick Emanwari, there's a reason why Seattle went up to get him. And he showed his worth throughout the playoffs. He's an all-snap guy. Usually on defense, you take rests and stuff. This guy plays all situations, whether you want to put him at safety, put him at corner, whatever the case might be. It's close at the end of the day.
It is close, but one thing I got to give credit to is how good this Browns rookie class was.
Yeah.
Like you basically got your future D tackle in Mason Graham. You got your future linebacker in Carson Schlesinger. You already, like the Cleveland Browns made good draft picks defensively, like obviously Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Like those are very solid pieces. But even if you look at the draft class here.
So on the defensive side, they're really good.
Defensive side, they're really good.
Denzel Ward, yeah.
And then, even if you go in the rookie class aspect and go in the offense, Shedeur could be something still.
Shedeur, right? Gabriel, they took chance on 2 guys.
Like now they have a coach in Todd Monken who actually believed in them because I don't know if you saw the clip where
I saw it.
The interaction was like, we want to draft you.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't. So that could, and Todd Monken is a creative coach as well, offensive play caller. Quinshon Judkins, obviously incredible. Harold Fannin. And the tight end class in general was really good. And Harold Fannin put together a really solid rookie year. So again, if the Cleveland Browns just figure out not getting their own way, like this rookie draft class, this draft class could be the franchise-changing draft class for some years to come.
Yeah, we'll talk about Cleveland more in the offseason because they had a bunch of head coaches opted out of their interviews. So I don't know how much of the case is going to be because there is a lot of question mark at the quarterback position there. But I do want to before I move on to the next award, I do want to clarify one thing because I've been saying it. If this team had made the playoffs, the Browns, was Garrett your MVP?
Yes.
So as long as they had like a competent offensive year to at least be in the playoffs, regardless of division winner or not, MVP lock for sure.
Yeah, like look what he did, man. And the reason why the games are close was because of the defense, which is obviously led by Myles Garrett and his ability to sack quarterbacks.
Yeah. Let's move on to comeback player of the year. The finalists were Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott. A lot of good names here. Even though he's not my finalist, like my top 3 finalists, Stephon Diggs helped that team. Like, yeah, he had obviously up and down years. You know that from fantasy, obviously. But like the games that he did pop off, that elevated when he didn't need to make plays, that veteran leader that needs to be for that just team in general with a rookie second year quarterback, young team and all that. There's a reason why they're in the Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs' leadership was part of that. Unfortunately, I did not put him in my top 3. My top 3 were Aiden Hutchinson at number 3, Dak Prescott at number 2, and Christian McCaffrey does get an award winner for me out of the 3 he got nominated for. It was this one.
If you're in 3, you got to win 1. And that's why McCaffrey is also my comeback player of the year. I agree with you in terms of your finalists. I have the same. Aiden Hutchinson was incredible last year. An unfortunate way to end his season with that broken leg. This year comes back, reminds us who he really is, which is this beast of Aiden Hutchinson that he was before he got hurt last year. Dak Prescott reminded us that he is an incredible quarterback in this league still. And if he has the right offensive weapons, which getting George Pickens was huge, helping out CeeDee Lamb and taking the focus off CeeDee Lamb. And then Dak Prescott just delivering the football is short, medium, deep, no matter what.
Yeah.
He was on point.
Their defense let them down, man.
Their defense let them down, which was the main concern. But let's see what they could do. But overall, when you are the sole offensive focus and you still produce and everybody knows the ball is coming to you, for that, you got to give that credit. You got to give that credit to Christian McCaffrey, and he deserves an award. And this one is, in my opinion, a lock for him.
Next up, the hardest award I think to get out there, because there were so many finalists that even 5 was not enough for this. That is the Coach of the Year. The finalists ended up becoming Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Ben Johnson for the Chicago Bears, Mike McDonald for the Seahawks, Kyle Shanahan for the Niners, and Mike Vrabel for the Patriots. Listen, you could have thrown in I even know who else.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton was one. You could have, there's like a bunch of names you probably could have thrown out there. I erased it off. That's what I'm trying to think
Dave
of.
Dave Canales had the show.
Yeah, Dave Canales.
Well. But we're just trying to figure out who the hell we're gonna pick to win here. Honestly, so, if you're looking at it, this one is gonna be like a last second pick from both of us.
I mean,
top 3.
Well, let's go one at a time then. Because I feel like we might be different.
Number 3, I'm going Ben Johnson.
Number 3, I went Liam Cohen.
Number 2, I went Liam Cohen.
Number 2, I went Mike Vrabel.
Number 1, I went Mike Vrabel.
Number 1, I went Ben Johnson. So, okay, let's break this down then. It was, okay, listen, before I put this list, for me as the year was going on, it was easy Mike Vrabel, right? I went Liam Cohen, number 3. It's a little bit of a iffy-ish start, but obviously the takeoff there was nuts. First time head coach in the NFL, and he did this. He deserves a lot of credit for that. This is, like I said, no shot at Kyle Shanahan or Mike McDonald, but first time head coach. For me, it sucks because this is usually a narrative award of where the team was last year to how much he has elevated them this year type thing. And yeah, Liam Cohen for me, like I said, I'm not going to disagree with you putting him at 2. I don't think you disagree with me putting him at 3. He did a very good job there, but that's why I have him at number 3. This is where I was tough with Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson. The differentiator for me was Ben Johnson had a harder division. I know Mike McDonald had the hardest division probably overall in football, but that was still very close. I think the way Ben Johnson was able to close out games, get that team to buy in. Caleb Williams, look how amazing as he did throughout the whole year. Good coaching hires with him, like Dennis Allen obviously did a good enough job with all those injuries. It was able to at least take the ball away from them. That's a Ben Johnson hire at the end of the day. I went with Ben Johnson because Chicago Bears for us were not a clear division winner. They were probably barely going to be making the playoffs in our opinion as well. If they even did make it, they ended up beating. The only team that didn't beat was really the Detroit Lions, which is why we had Ben Johnson's goals for next year, at least in the minimum. And obviously playoffs are not included in this. I get that, but we saw how the culture was set even in the playoffs with how close the games were. Fight till the very end. This guy won the division and one of the hardest divisions in football. I gave it to Ben Johnson ultimately over Mike Vrabel.
Even though the Chicago Bears weren't clear-cut winners, that does not mean the Jacksonville Jaguars wouldn't be clear-cut winners. Definitely not the New England Patriots. So, in my opinion, I don't think that I'm going to use that argument to differentiate what it was. What I'm going to lean into is more so of the narrative in terms of which team had a bigger turnaround. The Patriots and Jaguars were the teams that had the bigger turnaround. That's why I put Johnson at 3. The Chicago Bears, just the reason why they sucked last year was because they had Eberflus. It wasn't because of Caleb Williams or the talent they had. It was mainly because of Eberflus and the coaching. So getting a proper guy in to really help Caleb learn and take over the offense was Ben Johnson. That was the right guy. And the turnaround was impressive. And the division he did in was very impressive. But Liam Cohen and Mike Vrabel literally took 2 teams that were literal top 5 picks in the NFL draft and put them into division winners. And in divisions where we thought the Bills were a lock and the Houston Texans were a lock before the season started. Let's be honest here. I
had the first way, so I agree with that.
So, and then I gave the edge to Mike Vrabel because obviously he ended up having
the 2 seed,
the better record at the end of the day. So I'm just looking at it, and the way I'm looking at it is the turnaround and where the team was last year to this year. In my opinion, Mike Vrabel gets the edge for that. And that's why I gave him the edge for the award and Liam Cohen second. And obviously Ben Johnson third.
Yeah, I mean, no argument there. Like, I guess that this is like toss up between like all five
All
guys.
five, yeah. Not just three.
Even plus more if they were finalists as well. Like I said, Sean Payton should be in the conversation. Ultimately, they were the best team in the AFC as well. But ultimately, this is the one that we differed a lot. You went Mike Vrabel. I went with Ben Johnson being our winner. But let's end it off with the assistant coach of the year, because this was also tough, because like at the end of the day, it was a lot of good coaches this year. And some of these guys were considered for head coaching opportunities for a reason. Vic Fangio for the Philadelphia Eagles, defensive coordinator. Brian Flores, Vikings DC. Vance Joseph, Broncos DC. Josh McDaniels, Patriots OC. And Clint Kubiak, who is rumored to be the new Raiders head coach, was a finalist for the assistant coach of the year, who was the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator.
Top three. At number 3, I went with Vance Joseph. At number 2, I went with Josh McDaniels. And at number 1, I went with Clint Kubiak.
Number 3, I went Clint Kubiak. Number 2, I went with Vance Joseph. Number 1, I went with Josh McDaniels. This is where I gave the love more to the Patriots coaching staff a bit. Number 3, I went with Kubiak. Like I said, deserved head coaching opportunities for sure. I'm not taking that away, but there were stretches in the games, during the games, where the offense looked to struggle. That's the big reason why I put them down. That's why I have him at 3. At the end of the day, he still did enough to get Sam Darnold rolling, to continue his form from the Vikings days, even elevate stuff. He's a big reason why JSN, he was the offense behind that, all that, did very well. Obviously, the run game was weak, but you could test that a little bit of the O-line, which was improved, don't get me wrong. But his style of offense worked for Sam Darnold. They're going to have a big loss next year if that head coaching job does go through, because it's not going to be official. We're not going to officially know till after the Super Bowl. And sometimes coaches change their mind, aka Josh McDaniels. But that's why I went with number 3 there. 2, Vance Joseph, best defense, or top 3 defense in the NFL. Big reason why that team was first in the AFC, first in that division that contained the Chargers and the Chiefs led by Patrick Mahomes there. So that's that. And number 1, Josh McDaniels. What you said about pretty much he comes back, second-year quarterback, helps elevate that team offensively even more. Lack of weapons and all that. He was a big factor of that. We saw the run game. It was inconsistent, but got rolling. But we saw there's a reason why Drake May's in the MVP finalist conversation. A lot has to do with Josh McDaniels and how he helped elevate his game. And the reason why the Patriots were this close of winning the AFC, but again, playoffs not included, because they would have dropped if the playoffs were included.
They technically won the AFC.
Yeah, true. But performances in the playoffs, but overall in the regular season, they were second in the AFC.
Well, that's not technically. They did win the AFC. But
regular season, I'm saying.
Yeah. For me, it's a toss-up between Clint Kubiak, and Josh McDaniels. So for me, it's either or. Whoever wins, I'm not going to be mad. I'm fine with both. Vance Joseph, for me, has to be in the top 3 just because the Denver Broncos were a team that won in fourth quarters. And the reason why you win in fourth quarters is if your defense keeps you in football games and have these comeback wins. Like how Bo Nix, at the end of the day, give him credit. He was a clutch quarterback this year, and that's why they won a lot of football games. But there's a reason why you have opportunities to win in the fourth quarter, and that was because of your insane defense, and the leader of that defense was Vance Joseph. Other things, like you said everything about Josh McDaniels, you said everything about Kubiak. You got Sam Darnold rolling again, proving that for Sam Darnold, helping prove that Sam Darnold is not a fluke. This is this is legit Sam Darnold now.
In a way, even elevated more in the big games.
Exactly. And overall, I know the run game wasn't good, but when they needed it, they got moments from Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. The one thing you got to give this guy credit for is how he found ways to help Jackson Smith-Njigba get open, because we all knew who the hell the other team's defensive coordinator is putting the game plan about, and that's JSN. And Kubiak did a great job with that, and obviously a lot of credit goes for JSN. But those are my 3. For me personally, I think it's a toss-up for McDaniels and Kubiak.
So that pretty much wraps it up for us. These are all our award winners, our top 3 from the finals that's being announced this week on Thursday. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment down below. What are your award winners? We'd love to engage with you guys in the contents. Like you said, this is Super Bowl week. We have more content coming to you for that, and we have a lot more off season. So you guys do want to hit the post notification bell. Road to 200, road to 1,000 by the end of this year. We appreciate the support we've had so far. This is the month of January. We're gonna keep grinding even more, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.